Wait on Biscuit. Just wait on Biscuit. Paul Studios, what's up? How you doing? How you doing tonight? Just wait on Biscuit. How was your Tuesday, All Studios?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm excited.
Yeah?
I'm prepping myself for you to tear this movie to shreds.
Why?
Uh, I realize it has some problems, and it wasn't widely. It was panned by critics when it came out, and that's fine. And
Really?
and also I tore Perfume to shreds, so I feel like this is kind of like your revenge.
Um, I don't take revenge. I don't exact revenge.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a good movie, it's a good movie.
So
Um,
Hall Studios, let me drop you this link real quick. We do every other Tuesday. We do movie reviews, um, and this week we're talking about Eddie and the Cruisers. This is my co-host over here, Hotter Biscuit. She's a fantastic streamer. If you're not
Hi.
following her, you should be following her because she's fantastic.
Hello.
Um, but yeah, that's you can watch both of us on that one. That way you get both sides of the action, as I like to say, even though there's not
The
very much
action.
action in a movie review. But yeah, we just kind of talk about it. We give a brief synopsis. We discuss what we like, what we didn't like. We give ratings beforehand and after if anything changed. So that's about it.
That is the general gist of what we do.
That's the gist. Horror historian can't type. He's typed YPPPPPPP.
Maybe it's Jericho.
Was it? It could have been Jericho.
Maybe
That's the
she's
real
taking over
star
the
of his
computer.
of his streams, anyways.
But yeah, so that is the general gist of what we do. And we also love to take recommendations of movies.
That's true.
So if you guys have a movie that you want to recommend for us to watch and review, um, we will do that. We'll add it to our list.
We will
And but no guarantees that we'll like the
get to it in a
movie.
timely manner, or yeah, or like it.
I I think that we try to be pretty fair to the movie, but we point out what, well, like you said, what doesn't work, what did work. So even if it's not that great of a movie, most movies still have some redeeming factors, some things that they did really right.
Yeah,
So anyway, just be aware as you recommend movies.
yeah, that's true.
But
Accurate.
tonight is Eddie and the Cruisers. And I was saying this is a recommendation from your dad, right?
Correct.
Tin
My
Man?
dad, my dad did
Yes.
recommend this. Yes.
So it's kind of like a late Father's Day review.
Carnage gets it. Look at this. Carnage knows the music. Side note: did you know that all the music in the movie was made by John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band?
Yeah, I just saw that. So when I looked it up, it has music composed by. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
And not to like jump ahead, but the music was really good. I
So
really enjoyed the music.
we'll get into the music, but it like so the movie wasn't popular or whatever, but the soundtrack was popular. So they outsold the soundtrack outsold like the movie. So when the
Oh,
never
it
mind.
outsold the movie?
It like yeah, like it was really popular like on the dark side, that like big number one hit that they had or whatever. That was like
Yeah.
on the charts. Like when this movie came like the year after it came out, it was like number one on the charts or something like that.
Interesting. Well, I mean, the
So
Beaver Brown band is fair, is like, I recognize it. I
oh
don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So
It's
yeah.
just it's really cool to see like it. I don't know. I thought it was really cool because I still listen to the music to this day. I listened to all of the songs in this movie. So
Yeah, they're really good. I thoroughly enjoyed them. But I yeah. We'll get into it. We'll get into
yes,
it.
so we want to do initial review scores.
Yes.
Okay.
So do you want to go first or should I?
It does. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go
All
first.
right.
Yeah. And thank you for the follow, Hall Studios. I appreciate that. Okay, so my review, what would I give this movie? I think I'm
Apart.
not
She's gonna tear it
gonna
apart.
tear it apart.
She's gonna
I'm
tear it
trying to
apart.
think about um I think I would give this movie a 6.
Okay. Okay, that's fair.
Maybe a 6.5. Let's go with 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would because I thought it was above average, but and it had really good music.
Hmm.
I thought that the story was decent, but it was a little bit simple. And I think that because the movie is so much about the music,
Hmm.
that I mean it kind of seals the show, right?
Yeah.
And the plot, although okay, was a little bit simple. And so I think that's why I'm giving it a 6.5.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna give it a 7. I think the music is really good. I think that the twist ending is actually really good as well, and it sets it up for something like a sequel, which
Well, there
did.
is a
There is a
sequel.
sequel, and I'm actually not a huge fan of the sequel. My dad loves the sequel more than the first one, but whatever. But it does set it up for the sequel, and the music's really good. Like I said, I think the characters play their parts really well, and
Yeah.
I think I think that it does a good job of like showing like the trials and tribulations of just a garage band, trying to make it big in the 60s.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's I'm gonna give it a 7. I'm gonna start for the 7.
Okay. Okay, that's
Okay.
fair. That's fair.
Okay. Okay.
And thank you so much for the host, Black 90s E. I'm gonna assume that's how you say it. I appreciate it. Um, okay, well, do we want to jump into plot?
Yeah, let's jump into the brief synopsis of the plot. Do you want to start it off?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So it's kind of it's a movie that jumps back and forth in time. So you start out with these I guess it's like a news team or a reporter team watching a video of Eddie and the Cruisers. So they're like performing at some venue and they start discussing how they can create a story. How do they make Eddie and the Cruisers interesting? Or they're digging for some dirt or some not really dirt, but they're digging for a story.
Right.
So that's kind of where um, the current day story takes place. It's about this reporter and the current members of the band, um, and some investigations. Meanwhile, they're flipping back and forth between the old days when Eddie and the Cruisers were still around,
Right.
and it kind of shows, like you said, the trials and tribulations that they went through, and kind of how they ended up where they are. And the basic gist of the story is that um, Eddie and the Cruisers were an up and coming young band, and before the release of their second album, the lead singer died in a car crash, or I guess he technically fell off a bridge. But so he died and kind of left all of these pieces to be picked up. Um, it's kind of like the overall synopsis.
Right. He's really passionate about his music, and he knows it's going to be great or whatever. So when the studio execs are like, this is trash, this is garbage, no one's going to want to listen to this, he kills himself. He drives off a bridge, and then fast forward to now, it's the 80s, and everybody's like, well, we want to make Eddie and their old manager is like, hey, I want to make Eddie and the Cruisers big again. We're going to release the tapes, like the long lost tapes of Eddie and the Cruisers, right? And so the entire time, someone's like breaking into people, like the band members' houses, trying to find these tapes. And then people are like, oh, well, Eddie's back. Eddie's still alive and he's back. And he's the one that wants the tapes so that he can release them or so that he can make sure that they never get released or something. Um, it's just, and then, like you said, you have the news crew talking about how they want to turn it into a big story because Eddie's body was never found whenever they found the car in the lake or whatever, the river, whatever. So that's basically the general plot synopsis. Do we want to give away the ending?
Um, I don't know. Should we yet? I guess we could. I guess we could.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
do you well, so basically the movie is this whole back and forth. Is he alive? Is he not alive? Some people, I know, sorry, spoilers, guys, spoilers. Some people think he's alive, some people think he's dead, but these questions start to pop up, is he, isn't he? And so, Tin Man, do you want to talk about what happens in the end?
Yeah. So before the very end, right? You get his old girlfriend, Eddie's old girlfriend. She has the tapes, and this guy is like calling, pretending to be Eddie. He's like, he knows all the things that they did as a couple back in the 60s. So she's fully on board. Eddie's still alive. This is Eddie. I know it. It's Eddie. So come to find out, it's not Eddie, even though it's the same car and everything, same mannerisms, everything. It's not Eddie. It is their old manager. He wants the tapes, like I said, to make him big. So then the documentary gets published by the news team about Eddie and the Cruisers, or news story, whatever you want to call it. And it's people are watching it on like the street through the TV store.
Everyone's interested about Eddie and the Cruisers. They want to
Right,
know.
right. Is Eddie alive or dead? And the screen cuts to black on the TV, and you see Eddie's reflection in the glass. He's still alive, and he's still good. He's still rocking it. He's got a big old burly beard, and he walks away, and he's happy because he knows that he made something special. So,
Could you see his face in the glass?
yeah, for sure.
Okay, I was watching it on my phone
Oh,
and
okay.
it would not even like go widescreen.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, he's like the last person standing there, and it like it's you can barely tell it's
It's
him. It's
it's
like
like
the
a slow
eyes.
pan. Yeah, it's like a slow pan on him, and I figured that's what it was,
Yeah,
but I didn't know if they were trying to say, "Oh, he actually is alive," or, "Oh, he might be alive. Maybe
yeah,
this is him.
yeah.
Maybe it's not."
No,
But
it's
since this is Eddie
100% Eddie. Yep, it is 100%
yeah.
Eddie. So
So what I think is so interesting is, so basically that means that he faked his own death, right?
right,
So that's kind of the main plot point of the story, is that the second album that he was working on was named after a poet who ended up faking his own death.
right.
Basically, they called it not a suicide of the body, but a suicide of
The
the
mind and
mind
yeah,
and
mind
spirit
and
or
spirit.
something.
Yeah.
So it's basically like a complete disconnect from, what he had been working on and what he loved to do. And so, that in the movie, is it 20 years, 30 years,
It's like 20 years. Yeah.
20 years?
Hmm.
So to me, that's such a long time. It's I guess it's such a strange mindset to me to completely disconnect yourself from people that you called friends, that
Hmm.
were like as close as family, and it's just like, nope, I'm just going to make all these people I love think that I'm dead,
Hmm.
and for the pursuit of what, for your art. I don't know. It maybe they explain it in the second movie, but
Not really.
It was just kind of strange to me that
um,
mentality.
is it though? Because you have people that still to this day believe Elvis is alive. Like, what would he get
Well,
out of faking his own death, or Tupac, or I mean,
well, I guess not the mentality of faking your own death, because I can see how that would separate you from things that you might not want to have to deal with.
mhm,
But to separate yourself so completely from like your loved ones and your friends, like that's got to be really hard. But what benefit, like I don't know, it's just you're kind of leaving them
fame.
out to dry. Like they lost, yeah, it's pain and suffering.
Yeah, but
Like,
you gain fame. Like, everybody knows that once you die, all the things, like if you're an artist or something like that,
well,
once you
then
die,
what's gonna
all of
happen
your
when you come
stuff.
back?
What?
What's gonna happen when you come back?
Well, you got to watch the second one then, I guess, or I can just spoil it for you now.
You don't get any royalties from being dead. Like someone else owns the rights to your stuff.
Also,
Like
I'm
you get
pretty sure
you
it's
get
tax evasion to fake your own
yeah,
death.
it is.
Pretty sure he'd be in a
Yeah.
world of hurt from the government. Just saying.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. I don't know. It's just it there was something poetic about it when like if he had actually just died,
mm,
but I feel like him faking his death just, I don't know, like that like almost kind of ruined it for me. I just, maybe it's just cuz I don't know. You watch all of his friends and family suffer, and then it's like, nope, surprise, I'm actually alive. I'm just not talking to you guys.
yeah, I don't know. It like you almost have to watch these two movies as like one complete movie, right? Because it
Okay.
because in the second one, he goes literally the entire movie. I'm sorry for the language. The entire movie without announcing that he's Eddie Wilson. Doesn't say it once until the
So
very,
what does
very
he do?
end. What?
Is he like talking to all of his
No,
friends, but
no,
they don't
he's
know it's him?
like he like left. He just like he was done. He was done with the spotlight. He was done. He was happy that like that now Eddie and the Cruisers were like big and now
Yeah.
they would be famous and Sal and Frank and all the people that were still alive and Joanne and stuff, like they would get royalties from them being played on the radio now and stuff. But and like they released the tapes. They end up releasing the tapes, the season of Fire or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They end
So
up releasing it, but he just like he's done. Like he's like I'm done. That's it. That's all I need to do. But he's like working in like New York or something like that as like a logging dude named Joe West. It's really
Okay.
like he's like he has a fake name. No one knows him. He like picks up and moves a lot. Um,
Yeah.
and then he like creates a band just to like play, just like to hang out in a garage and play. And
Yeah.
they like book a job without telling him, and it's like this big gig, and he's like, okay, well, I'm not doing it. And this girl's like, what are you gonna do, drive off another bridge? And then he goes inside and he's like, well, I'm Eddie Wilson, and blah blah blah, and then the movie ends. So
Really?
yeah,
So that's so strange.
I
So
mean,
that
there's a
part
lot that
so
I'm
that
leaving out, obviously,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, he's like he's done. It's not like he did this. It's more like he faked his death in the first movie to because it's like they weren't ready for it. Like the world wasn't ready for it in the 60s. They weren't ready for the music.
So you
So,
gotta, that is such an extreme measure to take. Like, these people just aren't ready for my art. I'm gonna fake my own death to gain notoriety and fame, but
yeah,
never do
it's
anything about it.
it's super extreme, but when you're watching the movie, like the first movie when you're watching it and you see how like Eddie interacts with everybody and how he like flies off at the hand like the drop of a handle when the guy the record company is like, no, that's garbage. He's like,
Yeah.
it's totally Eddie to fake his own death to get
Yeah,
his
that's
stuff like out there.
true.
Like it's
That
totally
is
Eddie.
true. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I think that was just like, I think one of the the strange. It's just a little bit strange to me. But I actually, even though the rest of the story
Hmm.
was, I said it was simple in the beginning, but I think it it's got like this weird, like I don't know. It's like lacking some depth. I mean, there's like emotion to the story,
Hmm.
but I feel like it lacks a little bit of depth. But it's not bad. And I enjoyed watching kind of the progression of the other band members dealing with the death, well, with the death of Eddie.
Hmm.
um and I thought that was really interesting. I enjoyed that part a lot, and I think that's what kind of like throws me for a loop, is because you're focusing on the other characters like grief and how they deal with it,
Hmm.
and then like you get this like weird twist that he's alive. um but yeah, I thought all the other characters were great, and I did enjoy the first, the I guess the other part of the story.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Because you're right. When you do spend the entire hour and a half, like let's say it's because it's like an hour and 35 minutes or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
you spend like an hour and like 25 minutes talking about other characters and how they're dealing with his death, or maybe the idea that he's still alive. In the case of Joanne, she's dead set like this is Eddie, you know.
Yeah.
And then to find out like that it's not Eddie, it like almost breaks her again,
Yeah.
almost like she had come to some sort of closure, and then that wound was reopened, and then it so then and then at the end, you're right. I mean, you do find he's alive. He's alive and he's well, and he's just hanging out, being a logging dude in New York or something, you know?
Yeah. So to me, that was a lot more interesting of more interesting part of the story was
Yeah.
seeing how they dealt with that.
Yeah,
um
I would agree. Although
yeah.
I do kind of enjoy the mystery aspect of it. Well, like, is he alive or isn't he
Yeah.
alive? I think that's a very interesting way to go about a what is essentially a musical. Like, it's a movie about a rock group, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, but to take it and add a sort of mysterious twist to it, like especially the final sequence where they get the tapes from that junkyard or whatever you want to call it, and
Yeah.
the lights go on in the junkyard, and you can see that someone's following them and stuff like that. That's
Right.
a really cool kind of like eerie ghost like aspect to add in. I really enjoy that part of it.
Well, I think the mystery from the get-go, because they introduce it right at the beginning,
Hmm.
and where they're like, "Hey, this guy is supposedly dead,
Right.
but if you dig into his music, into his lyrics and what he was basing his music off of, like there could be a spin. There could be this like mystery that needs to be solved." And I thought that was really cool how they tie in kind of the poetry and historical aspect of it, and kind of like how he themed that second album, and
Yeah.
kind of making that connection. um I did enjoy that. And then kind of having the main character, what was his name, the main guy?
Frank.
Was it Frank?
Frank Ridgway.
I guess they called him, his nickname was
Oh, the
Wordman.
word man. Yeah, it's Frank.
Wordman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was the poet, he was the lyricist for the band, and so him and Eddie's relationship, I thought was kind of sweet.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There
Yeah.
there were a lot of aspects of the story I enjoyed. Um, just that ending, that ending.
Hang on one second. I'll be right back.
Okay. You have no idea what this movie is about? Ah, did you not listen to our review? Or our synopsis? Um, Basically, a uh, a band is formed, and the singer, the leader of the band, is very passionate about his music, very creative, and they're very popular. and the band goes to record their second album, and the producers just aren't having it. They don't like the music. They say that it's bad, and and where was I going with that? Oh, so the lead singer of the band gets really upset, and he fakes his death in order to gain popularity and notoriety, and that's pretty much the movie in a nutshell. Inked guy, he leaves just as they start talking. You mean Tin Man? Or did Clock leave? I think Tin Man had to go round up some kids. If going off of what I heard in the background, but yeah, so I'm here to talk to you guys. Also to talk to Tin Man's screen. Hello everyone. I should probably pull up the multi-stream. I'm here to entertain you while Tin Man is gone. I hope that you find me equally as entertaining as him. It is an interesting movie. I think that I mean, I don't want to go too far into it, but
I'm back.
Oh, hi.
Sorry, I had some issues with animals downstairs.
Oh, animals. I was guessing children.
No.
But animals was my second guess.
Nope.
It is kind of late. Well, no, you're an hour behind.
Yes. Okay, so what are we talking about?
So I was just giving another brief synopsis for those who may have just stepped in or who weren't listening. Clock. But no, I think that so we were kind of talking about the plot. Do you want to start? You want to talk about the music?
Sure. So, the big song in the movie is called "On the Dark Side," right? And like I said, all the music in the movie is made by John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. I think they did the music for the second one too. Yeah.
The what?
I said I think they did the second one too. I can't remember about the second one. But the big song is "On the Dark Side," and this is a song that's like still played on the radio today. I hear it from time to time, which is really cool because I like the song. Yeah. You've really never heard that song on the radio?
I don't think so. I was actually gonna play it.
Oh, okay. You play it,
real quick.
For sure. For sure. It's a good song.
Is this the one that they're creating at the piano in the middle of the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the word man like starts singing it or whatever, and everybody's like laughing at him because he doesn't know how to play. Yeah, because he sucks. And so then they change it up and whatever. That's what you get. I'm really surprised you haven't heard that.
So, did John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band, was that their actual music that they were like lip syncing to essentially in the movie, right?
Right.
Okay. So they didn't like, the actor wasn't like singing the songs that they created.
No, it's not Michael Pear. No.
Okay.
Side note: if you ever look up Michael Pear's or Pere, however you say his name, his like filmography, he has a ridiculous filmography. Like
who is that?
It's Eddie.
Oh, okay. Oh, the guy, the main character?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Tom Berenger does too, who played the Word Man, but like
he
Eddie,
looks familiar.
He's been in a lot of stuff. Tom Berenger's been in a lot of stuff.
So okay, Michael Pere.
Yeah.
That was Eddie.
It was Eddie.
So he was. They kind of looked a little bit similar. Or maybe that's because I was watching on a very tiny screen.
Could be, yeah, could be. But this guy, this Michael Pitt,
Okay, I'm looking at what he was
thank you for the
in.
follow, Electric Mastro. He's been in a lot of like video game movies, which I thought was really interesting. A lot of bad video game movies, but video game movies nonetheless.
I don't recognize any of these movies.
Blood Rain, Postal. Don't forget Postal. That's a great and awful movie. Alone in the Dark 2, Far Cry. I know there's a few that he's been in that were like bigger. Gone wasn't Gone a really big movie?
Evil Within.
The Evil Within.
Yeah,
Where do you see?
Detective Lancaster.
Where do you
This
see
is
that?
for Michael Pere, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's on his filmography. It's
interesting.
yeah, somewhere down here. Blubberella. That
Sure,
is. I
sure,
don't
why
know what
not?
it is, but he was in it.
Sure, why not? Yeah,
Ninja cheerleaders.
it's just like a lot of like really bad movies. The
Yeah,
Virgin Suicide was
Gargoyle.
actually a pretty good movie back in the day.
Okay, so like
Boat
as I
Floats.
scroll down, I'm recognizing more of these movies.
Yeah, but it's
Yes.
crazy that he's been in that many movies, and
159 credits. That's a lot of movies.
freaking movies, man.
That's a lot of movies.
But either way, he was Eddie. So,
Huh. Frank
what were we talking
Ridgway.
about?
The music.
That's right. So no, it was not Michael Pere singing the songs.
Okay.
It's
It was actually
yeah,
John. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
So they composed and performed. All
yes,
right, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I think that the best part of this movie is the music,
yeah,
and it with the way that they do the flashbacks, it just works really well together. Um, I yeah, I don't know if I have much more to say except that it was good music.
yeah. The album climbed the charts, going quadruple platinum.
That's crazy.
On the Dark Side was the number one song in the country on Billboard's mainstream rock and heat seeker charts. This was, I guess, 1984, the year after the movie came out, and number
Okay.
7 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart.
Huh.
Tender Years, which was also a song from the movie, peaked at number 31 on the or Billboard Hot 100.
That's pretty good.
That's
Pretty
pretty,
good.
yeah. Like for a movie that no one really seemed to care, if you read the reception or whatever, like it's a 38% on Rotten Tomatoes. They
It's a
like the
6.9.
movies.
It's a 6.99 on IMDb.
That's true. Also, I think this is funny, or not funny. It's more interesting. So the guy that played Wendell on saxophone in the movie
Yes.
is
Yeah.
actually the saxophone player for the John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
Oh, really?
Yep,
That's awesome. Yeah, he was really cool. And if he's actually the guy who played saxophone, he's really, really good.
he's really good. Yep,
The saxophone was my favorite part.
saxophone's always my favorite part. I wish I
It
would have
was
learned the
so
saxophone as a
good.
kid, but I never did.
Saxophone is pretty neat.
I agree.
You use it the right way. Sounds really good, really nice.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Um, but yeah, the music is really good. Um, I I don't know. See, I personally like the music in the first one better than the second one, and other people say the exact opposite, which is whatever. I don't care. I don't care. But
Wait, you like the music in the
first one
first one
more
better
than
than
the
the
second
second?
one. Yes.
Okay. And they still did the music for the second, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that they did because it all
Okay.
sounds the exact same.
All
However,
right.
Eddie also doesn't like he's not like the front man in the sequel.
Yeah.
He's like just some dude, you know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
like just some dude in a band. I don't know. Um
So does the singer of the new band still sound like him
I it's been
because
so long
it's
since I've watched the second one.
because
I
that was the thing. So in this movie, they
mhm,
have um oops, sorry, cat. They have the flashbacks where Eddie is singing,
yeah.
and then they have in current day, one of the other members of the band is kind of carrying the torch and like continues to play their music,
Mhm,
but he sounds the exact same as Eddie did.
pretty much.
And I,
Yeah.
but now
Except,
it's
except for
because
during those oldies but goodies. That's the only time that he sounds not like Eddie.
oh yeah, yeah, that was like the last song they played, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it was funny because I was like, wow, this guy must have really learned a lot from Eddie. Like he sounds exactly like him.
Right?
But
This dude
no,
is
it's just
great.
because it was the same singer from
Yeah,
John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't know until today actually was that this movie is based on a book um, by P.F. Kluge,
Okay.
and I've never read it. I didn't even know it existed, but I'm gonna find it now and buy it and read it and see if it's any different.
So it's
Um,
based on the book, not the other way around. It's not like a novelization of the movie.
right. The book was
Okay.
made. I don't know. I don't know when the book was made. I don't know. But the book was made first, um, and then it was turned into a movie later.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I do I like movies about music.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think of other ones. The only the only other movie I can think of is Spinal Tap. That's like a slightly different format than this movie.
Right.
I know I've seen others, but kind of the story. Oh, no, there's a movie with Jennifer Aniston and
Rockstar
yeah, Rockstar.
with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good one.
I like that movie. But there's a lot of good like movies about
Have
bands,
you ever
like up and coming bands and
seen
the rise and fall.
what's that movie? Is it The Rocker? Is that what it's called?
The Rocker. I don't know if I've seen
Yeah,
that
with
one.
Rainn Wilson from The Office.
No, no, I
The
haven't
movie's
seen it.
really
Is it
funny.
good?
It's really funny. Yeah, it's kind of it's
That's,
it's really good. Yeah,
that's so funny. Okay, I'll have to check it out.
yeah, I would recommend that one.
I
I would say
like
it's
him a lot.
better. It's kind of like the same thing as kind of the same thing as like School of Rock, where he's
Yeah.
like in a band and then he gets kicked out and he finds somebody else's band, whatever.
Are
But
these
it,
like kids? Is he like in a band with
yeah,
kids?
yeah,
Essentially.
yeah, it's really funny. It makes me laugh. But it's not quite School of Rock.
That's funny. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Rocker.
Yep, I would recommend it. Um, Other than that, I don't really have anything else to say about this movie. I like it. It's one of my favorite movies, actually.
I think that it is good. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I think my score comes more from if you analyze the movie,
Hmm.
like there are some things that could be better, but it's like it's pretty decent, pretty solid. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
like technically amazing, but
no.
I really really enjoyed watching it. So I would definitely recommend it if you like, music movies or
Even a little bit of
um
mystery. If you like a little bit of
yeah,
mystery in your movie,
mystery. Yeah.
it's got it's I think that's what I like most about it is that it has that little bit of mystery,
Yeah.
because I don't know if you know this about me. I'm big into like conspiracy theories. Not that I subscribe to like any of them. I'm not like, dude, there's lizard people living under the White House and stuff. I'm not
Which
like that.
ones are you into, Tin Man? I'm interested now.
Um, there's just things that I find interesting. Like what if like
The
okay,
moon landing was
no,
faked.
that's dumb. Like I'll listen to people if they tell me that it didn't happen, but you got to give me more than like the shadow or something like that. You know what I mean? You got to give me more substantial something else. Um, but like, uh, so when Robert Kennedy was assassinated, right? Not JFK, but Robert Kennedy was assassinated. There was this woman in a red dress or whatever, woman in a red and white dress, something like that. I don't know. And she like whispered something to someone, the killer, the shooter, or whatever. It's just interesting. It's just interesting to me. Like, what if she was like, what if there was brainwashing and like somebody was activating the sleeper cell of someone to like? It's just interesting. Like, what if
Yeah.
Not that I believe it, but it's
Yeah.
interesting. If you listen to the Stuff They Don't Want You to Know podcast, some of that stuff's really interesting. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's it.
Yeah. It's I feel like we could like dive pretty deep into conspiracy theories, but
Probably.
I did watch the Flat Earth documentary on Netflix,
Oh, I did
um,
too.
which is its own whole thing. But what was so funny to me was that the people that they're interviewing about Flat Earth, they like that's like their main conspiracy,
Mhm.
but like they literally don't trust anything. That woman
Yeah.
on there was like, I don't trust anyone but myself.
Yeah.
So like the truest source of information is myself.
Yeah.
And so it's just so interesting. Yeah, it's
I don't know. I watched that documentary, and that main guy that like they have talking throughout the entire thing pretty much. I felt so bad for him because
yeah.
at one point the interviewers or the documentary people are like, "Hey, what happens if you find out that you're wrong?" And he's like, "This is all I have. Like this is
Yeah.
the only place that like this is the only place where I have friends." And that's so heartbreaking. Like, dude, come on, man. You're making it really hard to think you're crazy, dude.
Well, okay, well here's the thing. I know that we're kind of like stepping off of Eddie and the Cruisers.
Yeah.
Now we're on this train, this flat earth train. But yeah, well that was the whole thing. So a lot of the people that they interviewed like at the flat earth conventions and stuff, that was the main takeaway was that here are these people who may have been shunned in other social circles, but like they found flat earth, and it to me it seemed less about, I mean, I guess I assume they do believe in flat earth, but it's almost less about that and more that they had a community
Yeah.
that would support them and that they had friends.
Yep.
And it's like,
Absolutely.
well, if this is what I have to believe in order to have friends, then that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And so it was
Just a very depressing documentary
it
overall.
was.
Even the
Well,
ending when they prove themselves wrong and it just like
yeah.
cuts to black. Like, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
I
man.
I recommend I recommend that documentary.
It's
It was
a really good documentary. It's actually a
it
really
is.
good documentary.
Yeah. It's well put together and very insightful. They interview obviously the flat earthers, but they also interview scientists and which the scientists had a pretty sympathetic take for the most part on
Yeah.
these people.
Yeah, I mean
Because
the
I think
movie sorry, like the movie is more, it's less about the idea of a flat earth and more about the people that subscribe to the flat earth theory.
yeah.
It's more about the people in the community than it is the actual idea of a flat earth. So, it's not
Yeah.
like trying to persuade you to believe in a flat earth. It's more like, hey, these are the type of people that believe in it and they're kind of the same as everybody else. They just want friends.
Yeah.
So don't be so dismissive of them sometimes, maybe.
Yep, I recommend it. Tin
Really
Man
good.
recommends it. If you guys are interested in Flat Earth, watch this documentary.
Yeah.
um, but yes. So Eddie and the Cruisers. If you're a fan of music or if you're a fan of mystery, then I also recommend this movie.
Yes. Do we want to
And
give final reviews?
yeah,
Okay. You started with a 6.5.
yeah, I think I'm gonna say the same. I
Six and a
think
half.
that's my final review.
All
Yeah.
right. I started with a 7. I think I want to stay with a 7.
Okay.
I think that Those are both pretty fair scores. Um, that's it. That's all I
I
got.
mean, 7 is pretty consistent with IMDb, and looks like Metacritic gives it a 50%. That's a little bit lower, but
Yep.
kind of right. I think I might be more of the average. I think you're a little bit higher than average, but yeah, a pretty decent movie. Yep.
Still not as good as Trimmers, though.
No, Tremors obviously was the best.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Obvious.
uh, I'm kind of interested in like doing a stream where we review conspiracy theories now, Tin Man.
I'm I'm down. We can do that.
Let's rate and give scores to conspiracy theories.
Like,
How true are they?
how
How true
believable
do we
are
think they
they?
are? How believable?
You mean Pizzagate?
Yeah.
Have you heard of
Yeah.
Pizzagate? Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm so
Yeah.
down though. I thoroughly enjoy those the more historical ones. Not the dumb ones like Lizard People and Pizzagate. People are like hiding orphans under a pizza parlor to like, kill them. I don't fucking know. It's so
Yeah,
so
that was
weird.
maybe we take a break from movie review and try out some conspiracy theory review. We
All
can talk
right.
about it. We can talk about it, but if anyone in chat has strong feelings about that, Bree says that she's definitely interested. So we have
She can be a
one
guest.
person.
She can be a guest speaker on our
Yes, we should
reviews.
bring Bree into like a uh H.P. Lovecraft themed conspiracy theory show.
Okay, let's do
Well,
it.
I assume there are probably Lovecraft conspiracy
There's
theories
conspiracy theory. If you wanna see
for
me like
everything.
go off on a tangent, we can talk about Tupac and whether he's really dead or not.
Drunken Buddha says yes too. I think we might be on to something, Tin Man.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out a date and time or something.
All right. Well, for movies at least, I think that we can wrap up Eddie and the Cruisers.
And the Cruiser's solid
Good
movie.
movie. Do recommend. Um, and I think that's all I have to
All I
say
got
about
too.
it.
That's all I got.
Yep. All
I
right.
I appreciate everybody for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. Means
Yeah.
means a lot to me and it means a lot to Biscuit. I know that.
Yep.
So we'll see you next time, guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and thank you, Tin Man,
Thank
for hanging out
you,
and doing these
Biscuit.
reviews with me. And I
Have a good one,
will
guys.
talk to you later.
Yep. See ya.
All right. Bye.
Okay. So now, do we like this movie, dude? We love this movie. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Biscuit gave it a 6.5 out of 10. It's a really good movie, man. It's a really good, solid movie. I definitely enjoy it. It's one of my favorites, actually. It's got some music in it, some good music. Actually, it's made by John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. Um, it's got some mystery, a little bit of mystery in it. So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it really good. So we're going to raid Awesome La Possum because she's still going. If you don't know Awesome, you should. Awesome La Possum. Damn it, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. I'm a professional streamer. Sometimes. Boom. Either way, that one is for subs. If you have the Tin Man emotes, you can post the first one. If not, you can post the second one. I'll be back again tomorrow night with, I'm not sure yet, Alien Isolation maybe again. We'll see. Other than that, guys, I have nothing else. I hope you have a great night. We have a great day tomorrow at work or fun, whatever you're doing. And I will talk to you all in a little bit. Have a good one.